Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. In today's video, we're going to be talking about money saving tips to help you save money. The whole purpose of saving money, in my opinion, is to be able to invest that money so that you can put yourself in a position sometime down the road where you can have financial freedom. Before we can start discussing these money saving tips, we have to talk about one important tool that we'll need to use, and that tool is a personal budget. Now, a personal budget to me is simply you writing down your income and you also writing down your expenses. The whole goal with this budget is to be able to show you in real time the amount of money you got coming in and the amount of money you got going out. Because if you can get these two things right, then at the end of the day, hopefully, you'll have some money saved that you can start investing. You have to live on less than what you make, and this personal budget helps you do that. There are many ways you can put together this personal budget. You can go out online and there are all types of apps and spreadsheets that you can download to your phone and you can create your budget that way. But I'm kind of old school. I prefer a plain piece of paper and a pencil, and I just simply write down, like I mentioned earlier, my income, and I write down my expenses. 5 of these expenses that you're currently spending money on that I believe there's an opportunity for you to cut back, therefore being able to save some money and then start investing. The first expense category we want to focus on is food. Did you guys know the average American household spends about $7,000 a year on food? $4,000 is spent going to the grocery store and preparing food at home, and then another $3,000 is spent going out to eat. And that's where I think your opportunity is to save some money. $3,000 a year is basically $250 per month that the average American household spends on eating out. Think about this. If you were to cut back by $100, so instead of spending $250 a month, you only spent $150 a month, and then you took $100 and you saved it. That would be an additional $1,200 a year you would be saving. Food is a necessity. We need it to live. But we can always just go to the grocery store and bring our food home and cook it, right? Going out to eat really is not a need, that's a want. And I'm not saying you entirely need to cut that out, guys. What I'm saying is cut back on it. Now, I know some of you will say, well, hey, I don't spend $3,000 a year eating out. And I get it. But on average, when we're talking about the average American household, the statistics say that's what they spend on eating out. So those are the numbers that I'm using. But the point here is you should cut back on eating out. Whatever you're doing, if you're going out 4 times a month eating out, cut back to 2 times a month and then save that money. The second expense category we want to talk about to save money is shelter. Again, shelter is an essential need that all of us hopefully have in order to be able to live. The key though is how much money are you spending on that shelter? Also, when I talk about shelter, I'm talking about utilities, things that go along with you living in an apartment or living in a condo or living in a house, all of the things that go with shelter. Now, one of the things I'm going to ask you guys to think about is to try and keep your shelter expense to about 25% of your gross monthly income. For example, If my gross monthly income was $5,000 per month and I wanted to keep my shelter expense to 25% of that, then I would have $1,250 per month that I would be spending on shelter, including my utilities. I think if you do that, you give yourself an opportunity to save some money when it comes to shelter. The third expense category we want to talk about to help you save money is transportation. The average American household spends about $9,000 a year on transportation. That can include fuel, repair and maintenance, insurance, car loan payments, and all the other things associated with transportation. But here's what I want you to think about. Figure out a way to reduce that cost by 20%. So if you're spending $9,000 a year, you reduce your costs on transportation by 20%, that's $1,800 a year you would be saving. And I believe all of us can do that. Because I know most of us, we go out and we buy cars that perhaps we really are spending too much money on. We could always buy something a little bit cheaper, a little bit more gas efficient, and reduce our cost. So if you really want to be able to save money and then take that money and be able to invest it in investments that will grow your wealth, reduce your transportation costs, because that's one of the major expenses most of us deal with on a monthly basis. The fourth expense category we want to talk about to help you save money is clothing. The average American household spends about $2,000 a year on clothing and all the things associated with clothing, like dry cleaning, alterations, etc. And what the studies tell us is most people will spend money on clothing out of boredom. They're surfing the web, or they want to get out and get some exercise, so they go to the local mall or they go to the local retail center and they start window shopping, and then before you know it, you're in there, you're buying something. So that's a great opportunity right there, guys, with clothing, to be able to cut back. Again, if we're spending on average $2,000 a year, why not attempt to cut back by $500 or $1,000 per year? I get it. Clothing is a essential item we need in this life. But we don't have to spend it on all these designer clothes and things like that. We can buy clothes that look good at a good cost and take those savings and then be able to invest them for our long-term financial future. The fifth expense category we want to talk about to help you save money is entertainment. The average American household spends about $3,000 a year on entertainment. Now that can be home entertainment through streaming channels or purchasing movies through your cable provider, but it also is including going out to the movies, going to concerts, going to sporting events. Think about cutting that in half. So instead of $3,000 per year, cut it back to $1,500 per year. Now I know some of you, again, spend more than $3,000, spend less than $3,000. The key is take 50% of what you're spending on entertainment and start saving it, right? If you want to build wealth, guys, the fastest way to wealth is your income, right? And how you utilize your income right now. So yes, I'm asking you to delay pleasures, delay gratification for a short period of time in order to have everything you want down the road, right? Because it's all about financial freedom, having more time, more choices, and more freedom in our life. And if you start now by taking a look at these 5 expense categories I just went through and really get honest with yourself and start cutting back on some of this stuff and creating savings. Number one, to create you an emergency fund, which is, 3, 6, 12 months of your expenses. That's number one. And then after you've put that in place, Then we want to focus on investing. Investing that money in a 401k, investing that money in a Roth IRA, investing that money in a taxable brokerage account. We can be investing that money into real estate. You can invest that money into starting your own business that you can scale up and create wealth for yourself that way. But it all starts with learning how to save money. And I think if you take these 5 categories, these 5 expense categories I just talked about, that gives you the best opportunity to save money, in my opinion. But drop me some comments. Let me know what you think. Did I miss anything? And if I did, leave it in the comments section. I'd love to get your feedback. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel, share the video, and smash that like button for me. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness, never stop believing in yourself, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.